this team continues to make everything oh so stressful for us Leaf fans. However, the Leafs do come away with the 7-4 victory. 2 games, 2 touchdowns for the Toronto Maple Leafs, 7 goals against the Chicago Blackhawks, and 7 goals against the Dallas Stars, like I said, winning 7-4 in Dallas. So I know the defense hasn't been good this year, and the team really hasn't played well defensively all season long. However, you just won a road game in Chicago, and you won a road game in Dallas. 2 places that are not easy to win in. So you look at it, guys, I'd say it was a success, and you got to find ways to move on from it. Now, Freddie Anderson got the start in this one, and look, he wasn't all that great, but he didn't get much help either. To be totally honest, he really didn't get much help. First things first, though. First period, Mitch Marner kind of fires a puck. It drops, it hits Zach Hyman, and then it drops. And what does Zach Hyman do? He kind of pokes the puck to Mitch Marner, who's coming right down the middle of the ice, and Mitch Marner gets it and just rips it past Ben Bishop. His second goal of the year. It says it was unassisted. I'm assuming that's going to change, and Zach Hyman is going to get an assist on that play. If not, that's a hard-working play that doesn't result in any points for Zach Hyman. Mitch Marner second. Leafs up 1-0, 9:40 into the period. Late in the period, however, Alexander Radulov scores his 3rd goal of the year, and you can't blame Freddie for this one. Radulov comes down the wing, fires the puck, and it hits Zaitsev, and it kind of bounces into the net. Look, first off, it's a redirection. That's tough. That's tough in itself. And then it starts bouncing. Tough for Freddie. It goes in. Tough one. And the game is tied at 1 apiece. However, and that is really not how you want to end a period. We talk about it all year long, guys. How do you start a period? How do you end a period? Those kind of are the momentum groups of moving forward, right? They score a goal there with just under 3 minutes to go left in the first period. It could be a momentum killer. But with 1:02 left, Austin Matthews, off a beautiful backhand feed from whom? Kasperi Kapanen, rips it past Ben Bishop. Matthews scores again, his 6th of the year. Riley grabs the secondary assist on the play, and the Leafs have their lead back. It is 2-1. That is the end of the first period, all right? Second period, Tyler Seguin scores his 3rd of the year, and Esa Lindell and Ben Bishop grab assists on the play, and just like that, we are tied at 2 apiece. So 2 leads, 2 one-goal leads for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they both have been squandered. We saw that a lot in the last game against Chicago, especially late in the game, and you've seen it early on in this one. But then the Leafs get a power play. You really don't want to do that. And Austin Matthews, if I'm not mistaken, this was the one. I mean, there were so many darn goals in this one. I think this was the goal that Matthews tries to pass to John Tavares, and it looks like it went off the skate of the defender and into the net, but Tavares' stick was right there anyways. It would have got, well, you would assume it would have gone in, but therefore, Austin Matthews gets his 2nd goal of the game. Riley and Mitch Marner grab assists, and the Leafs are back out in front. It is 3-2. 5 minutes after that, the 4th line is out there. And Ron Hainsey with a point shot, screen in front of the net, gets tipped by one of their defenders. I think it was. Sorry, guys. A little bit of an allergy season with the if you guys are living in Toronto, you guys know the weather's up and down like a flipping toilet seat in this one, so I apologize. Ron Hainsey with the point shot. Great deflection in front of the net. I think it was by their own defender, if I'm not mistaken. And into the back of the net, Ron Hainsey's 1st goal of the year. Kapanen, Lindholm. Par Lindholm with his first NHL point, and the Leafs are up 4-2. Beautiful. And just a minute after that, Leafs get another power play. You don't want to do that again. And off a beautiful, beautiful pass from Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner comes down from the wing, and it looks like he's going to shoot it, but he waits, gets around the defender, and just a beautiful tape-to-tape pass to John Tavares, who puts it in the empty net. Tavares has 2. Matthews has 2. This team is freakish. They're up 5-2. That kind of rhymed a little bit there. But you know what? Marner and Morgan Riley grab assists on the play. Riley has his 3rd assist on the game already. And the Leafs have the 5-2 lead. Looking to close the second period outright with that 5th goal. 3 minutes left. However, 1:58 to go. And they get a power play. And Jamie Benn scores, making it a 5-3 game. And once again, a late period goal from the Dallas Stars, changing momentum. You go into the 3rd, 2:39 in. John Klingberg walks into one. And look, I know Freddie Anderson has to make some big saves. Look, that is John Klingberg, one of the one of the Norris Trophy nominees, walking into a wrister. I mean, you don't want to give that away. And he rifles it home past Freddie Anderson. They reviewed it for goalie interference. It was a no-go, and that made it 5-4. So, guys, like I said, the momentum. Goals in the last 5, goals in the first 5 usually hurt your team. They scored with under 2 minutes to play in the second. They score within 3 minutes of the third period starting. Not a great recipe. However, this Leafs offense can score like flipping crazy. John Tavares, actually, I don't even know which goal John Tavares scored here. John Tavares scores the 6th goal of the year. Marner and Zaitsev grab assists, and the Leafs get that 1 goal back. It is a 6-4 lead. And then with 3:20 to go, Connor Brown kind of pokes the empty netter, and it looked like it was going in anyways. It would have been Morgan Rielly's, but Connor Brown just wanted to make sure it got in the net, making it 7-4, and the Leafs hang on. Now, and Rielly and Hainsey grab assists on that goal. Look, guys, we know this defense has not been good. Other than the first game against Montreal, where they only gave up 2 goals. But even then, they gave up a ton of shots, and Freddie Anderson had to be very good. I think it was like 2 goals on 36 shots. So Freddie had to be good that game. He gave up 5 against Ottawa, 6 against Chicago, and 4 against the Dallas Stars. Not very good. 7 goals should win you a game every single night. It barely did against Chicago. In hindsight, it barely did against Dallas here today. But you look at the way this team performed, and you want to kind of break things down. First period, I thought the Leafs were fantastic. 12-10 in shots. They had the possession time. They had the chances. They looked really, really good in that first period. Second period, abysmal. 15-8 shots in favor of the Dallas Stars. However, the Leafs got the goals. And that's really what matters. Shots on goal doesn't really matter when you can put the puck in the back of the net, and that was that. Leafs won the third period 10-9 in shots, and that's significant in the fact of they needed one goal and another point. They needed 2 goals in the game. And the Leafs held them to only 9 shots in the third period. Now, I know the defense is terrible, guys. I know. But after that goal with just under 3 minutes into the third period, the Leafs defense actually didn't play terrible. And Freddie made some saves. He made some... Look, the difference between what Freddie did today and Garrett Sparks didn't do in the game against Chicago, Freddie made some big saves late in this game to keep that lead at 6-4 instead of giving up a goal, making it 6-5, having the momentum, making it 6-6, and then being, all hell break loose. Freddie did make some big saves late. Look, guys, stat line wasn't pretty. 4 goals, 34 shots. Not a very good 882 save percentage for Freddie Anderson. If you're talking about October Freddie's still here, look, in my eyes, he kind of saved this game there late. Look, his first, you can't really blame him for a couple of goals, but in hindsight, Freddie should have been better today, but he made the big saves when the Leafs needed him to, which Garrett Sparks did not do against the Chicago Blackhawks, all right? If you want to talk about Freddie, he gets the victory in a game he really didn't deserve, but the offense is just that good. And the Leafs, like I said, come away with the victory. If you're looking at the face-offs, they actually won in draws, 31-28. Power plays, look, Leafs were 2 for 3, and they were 1 for 1. So power play was great. PK, you only had the 1 opportunity, and they scored on it. So there you go. Hits, as we've noticed this year, the Leafs get dominated 23-12. Shots on goal, 34-30 in favor of the Stars. So not too big of a margin. It's more of a back-and-forth type of game. Now let's go through some stats here real quick, guys. Matthews with 2 goals and a -1. Tavares had 2 goals. Mitch Marner, a goal and 3 assists. 4 points for Mitch Marner. And he has 8 points on the year so far. Ridiculous. 8 points through 4 games. Matthews has, 10? 10 through 4 games? It's a joke. Tavares has 6 goals in 4 games. This is ridiculous. Ron Hainsey with a 2-point night, and he was a +2. I thought he was great in this one. 2 points in 4 games for Ronnie and a +3 on the year. There you go. Connor Brown with the empty netter and a +1. Good for him. And Morgan Rielly, guys. 4 assists in the game today. He has 10 points in 4 games. And remember, he's a defenseman. You see what that power play is really doing for this team. Really putting the points on the board. Hey, you don't take stupid penalties. That first penalty Jamie Benn caused, it's a stupid penalty. You didn't need to run Zaitsev. And he did. And it was a stupid play. The high stick, blatantly obvious. The stupid glove, what? He tried to win the faceoff and use his glove? Stupid. But it's a penalty. Kapanen, guys, I'm telling you, William Nylander, who? I know I have his jersey and I want him back, but guys, Kasperi Kapanen, since being put on that line with Auston Matthews, has looked pretty darn good. A goal and an assist in the Chicago game, 2 assists and a +1 today. I thought he was great. I thought Kasperi Kapanen was great once again. Zaitsev grabs an assist, and he was a +1. Par Lindholm with an assist. He was a +2. And I got to say, with a little bit of lineup changes, that fourth line obviously a goal with Ron Hainsey getting the one, and Par Lindholm and Zaitsev grabbing assists. And Kadri had countless opportunities. He had 3 shots in the game. I think he rung one off the post as well. Kadri was very good. So we haven't seen much of that third and fourth line yet to start the year. But in my eyes, what we saw today, well, I wouldn't say it was a coming out party, but it was a sign in the right direction for that line. Now, next up for the Leafs, they head to Detroit to take on the Detroit Red Wings at 7:30 on Thursday night. Don't take them lightly, all right? I know they're 0-1-2 and they haven't won a game yet. But the Ottawa Senators coming into the year looked terrible, and they beat the Leafs. Every team can beat any team in this league. Montreal beat Pittsburgh 5-1. It happened. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take any team lightly, but the Leafs are on a 4-game road trip, and in my eyes, you just took out 2 of the hardest teams you got to face on that trip. You have to face Washington and Washington after Detroit, but the 2 tough games, Chicago and Dallas, 2 very, very good teams. You took them down, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video and you guys enjoyed the game today, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the defense? What'd you think of Freddie, Austin, Tavares, Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley? What do you guys have to say about all these guys and all their plays today? Who are you impressed with in this one? Who are you not so impressed with? Also, Connor Carrick, Roman Polak were in the game today against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Very weird seeing them in Dallas jerseys, but it's the way it goes. All right, I want to hear what you guys have to say about all this. And Evan and I will talk to you guys probably sometime this week. Podcast edition. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes, guys. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition tomorrow night as the Raptors take on the Brooklyn Nets at the Bell Center in Montreal. Technically game 4 of the preseason, but in my eyes, it's game 3 of the preseason for the Toronto Raptors as they play at the Bell Center tomorrow. I think it's a 7 o'clock tip-off, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow night. 7 o'clock at the Bell Center tomorrow, all right? And as for the Leafs, like we said, they take on the Detroit Red Wings Thursday night. 7:30 puck drop at Little Caesars Arena. The Leafs look for their third straight win, and they look for a better defensive performance and a good goaltending performance from Freddie Andersen. And, of course, a victory nonetheless. We'll talk to you guys then.